Pregame.com.
Sunday, NFL action. The Seattle Seahawks visit the Chicago Bears, Soldier Field on Sunday. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined with Stephen Nover. Stephen, this is a game here that, well, for the Chicago Bears, I mean, their season basically came to an end last Sunday. I mean, they remotely have mathematical chances, but losing the game last week to Denver and Tebow pretty much did them in the race. Seattle's just playing out the string. How do you see this game?
Well, Chicago never should have lost that game, Marco. But what that did, that loss, they have to win this game for sure, and then they have to upset Green Bay at home next week. That's what they got to do by losing at Denver. So Green Bay, probably figuring they're going to beat Kansas City, will have locked up everything and may not be playing their starters as much as perhaps they normally would under normal circumstances. Then again, they might, because the Bears tried to ruin their season last year after they were locked into the number 2 playoff spot last year. They played Green Bay, and they went their starters the whole game. So, but that's talking about next week. This week, as you mentioned, Seattle at Chicago. Seattle playing awfully well, actually, covering games. Tough travel spot coming off the Monday night game. I actually think, even though the weather is going to be surprisingly very mild and good here for this one, I still like the under. Where do the points come from, Marco, in this game?
Well, Chicago, since Haney's taken over, have struggled to find points. I mean, the last 2 games they've scored 3 and 10 points.
Yeah, 23 points in his 3 starts.
Actually would be 33. They scored 20 at Oakland. They scored 20 at Oakland. 3 against Kansas City, and then 10 last week.
Okay.
But the situation being, I just can't back the Bears in the way they lost last week. That's got to be just demoralizing to this team. And we'll talk about it later in Rants of the Week. But what I'm looking at with Seattle is, here's a team that Pete Carroll's got playing good ball right now. Granted, they haven't been playing good teams, but can you really consider Chicago a good team at this point of the season? I know mathematically they're still here. They're 1 game over 500, and that's a point I'm going to make here why I like Seattle. I lean to Seattle. This is not a big play or anything, but I lean to the dog here. It is a bad scheduling spot. I agree with you. Playing on Monday night and then traveling on the road, generally not a great situation for the road team. But Seattle's sitting at 6-7. And mentally, anytime a football team, not just football, any sport, when a team can get to that magic 500 spot, it's something that's a motivational thing, because nobody likes to be a loser. And when you get to the 500 mark, you're not a loser anymore. And I think this team's really going to, rally around it, try to build on momentum to end the season. They were a playoff team last year, albeit a laughingstock playoff team last year, but they ended up winning their first game in the first round last year.
And then we're taken out by the Bears at Soldier Field.
That's a very good point. So you got playoff revenge, which I forgot about. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. I'm going to ride them. I think that they're playing well. The team hasn't quit under, Pete Carroll, where teams that are out of the playoffs, especially teams that were in the playoffs the year before, that's easy for them to do, is to, toss the towel down the stretch, and this team hasn't. So I have a lean to Seattle plus the points, grabbing the 3.5, just because of the situation with Chicago. And going one step further, Chicago, there's a lot of rumors swirling around there, with the coaching staff. Lovie Smith, I don't know that he can say that his job's secure after some of the blunders that happened this year, and if they don't make the playoffs. It's hard to penalize him when they lost Jay Cutler, but, he's still the guy at the helm making decisions.
I think Lovey's fine. Mike Martz, though, may not
be fine.
Point.
Yeah, the rumors are definitely that Mike Martz is going to be gone.
Yeah, I think he will be gone, but Lovey stays. I can't argue with Seattle. It makes sense. How can you lay more than a field goal with Calipani in that Bears offense minus Cutler and Forte? There's no punch there. There's no punch there. I think, though, the top choice of our 4 options in this game is the under. And I realize it's a low total. Anytime you get under 37, it's a low total. Sure, it's a December game, but as we mentioned, the weather appears to be like it's going to be pretty good there in Chicago. However, what is Seattle's strength? Run defense. The Bears can't throw the ball. They need to run. They're going up against Seattle's strength. The Bears' defense is held up very well. Urlacher, Briggs, Tillman, still ball playing at high levels. And I don't like the Bears quarterback. I certainly don't like Seattle's quarterback either, Tavares Jackson. They've lost 3 starting offensive linemen in Seattle. We know the Bears' offensive line isn't very good in pass protection, Marco. Where do the points come from in this game?
I agree with you. One thing I'll say about the Bear defense, they have played tremendous, but they got to be getting tired because the offense isn't sustaining any drives. They're on the field. They're playing a lot of plays, and then they went to overtime last week too. So you've got the under. I've got lean to Seattle, so you got 2 picks out of this video. We're going to be back. Check out the thread in the forums, pregamevideos.com. You'll be able to find all the videos we did this week, not only myself and Steven, but Vegas Runner, Brian Leonard, RJ, Scott Spreitzer. You can check them all out at pregamevideos.com. We'll post our show notes, and we'll be in the forums all weekend talking about the games with you guys. So check that out. We're going to be right back. We're going to do another game next up. We'll be doing NFL action. We're going to look at a whole blockbuster, Tennessee and Indianapolis.